Hi, this is Professor Amy Shuen. We are recording from the Adagio Restaurant Garden in Berkeley, right across the street from the law school. And we're going to be talking about Chapter 3 of my book, Web 2.0, A Strategy Guide. The title of the chapter is People Build Connections. Everybody was amazed when Microsoft made an offer that essentially valued Facebook at $15 billion. Why do you think Facebook is worth $15 billion to Microsoft? I asked this question to my students in an executive MBA class, and many of them thought it was just the irrational exuberance of the marketplace for social networks. But Microsoft is not an irrational investor. Why would a large company advised by many investment banks feel that a startup like Facebook would be worth that much? I think that Facebook is, first of all, an unusually powerful customer acquisition engine. Using viral social marketing and distribution, it managed to get 47 million loyal customers in less than 3 years' time. And each of these customers potentially is worth $15 in targeted and instantly monetizable advertising revenues. I quote $50 because this is the amount that Google makes in advertising revenues per year on its customers. So that's pretty much the envelope of what a customer in online advertising can be worth. So the story of Facebook is really one of discovering social contagion. We've actually moved from thinking about high-tech services and business models as moving from the Rogers diffusion curve to the Bass model of social influence. Do you actually get them to adopt new technologies and lower their threshold of adoption? Or do you start with a critical mass of active users who are very, very interested and enthusiastic about the service so that they virally market that product and service to others? In the Web 2.0 world, it's quite clear that the Bass model of social influence is the one that's the most powerful and accelerates the hyper-growth path much faster. If we were to look back at the difference between Rogers' diffusion curve and the Bass model of diffusion, we would see two very different pictures. Rogers' diffusion model is based on a normal curve. In his model, you had 100% of the population of the adopters actually being divided into 5 different categories. Innovators were always about 2.5%. Early adopters were 13.5%, early majority was 34%, late majority was 34%, and laggards were 16%. And these categories were based on their innovativeness. And you saw essentially a percentage of adoption happen over time. In the Bass model of innovation and imitation, there are only 2 very important factors. 3 actually important factors. The first one is the number of independents who start and try out this new innovation or model, and the second one being Q, the percentage or the rate at which people imitate the first initiators. Actually, the Bass model has been tested on at least 45,000 different product innovation kind of cycles. Not most of them online, most of them offline, but this kind of model that shows that people are more influenced, that the growth rate of new products and innovations tend to be more based on innovation and imitation and on social influence than on independent thresholds of adoption seems to be quite clear. Additionally, what Facebook has done is create a platform for applications that turns viral marketing into viral distribution. This is a very powerful shift. We end this session on asking the question of each of you: how could social influence drive hypergrowth in your business? If we were to take a look at this particular graph of innovators to imitators, what could you do to find yourself on the curve that's marked high, the exponential curve that is triggered quickly into accelerated growth by a small number of critical mass users who are active? These three curves are the possible scenarios for growth in your business. You could choose to be on the low trajectory, the medium trajectory, or the high trajectory. Of course, one would prefer to be on the highest growth trajectory where innovators quickly trigger exponential growth in imitators. Finally, we ask the question that we talk about much more in the chapter: do you know how to power up your social and business networks? Have you mapped your social and business networks to see where there is the most leverage and the most ability to capitalize upon them? What we're finding in online social networks, as we explain in LinkedIn, the professional networking online, is that in many of these networks, 95% of the users are first-degree networks. Only about 5 or 10% are hubs and connectors. But putting these two groups together enables many, many leapfrog linkages that really power up and have a great deal of impact on the overall effect of your social and business network. And so this is something that every business needs to think about. Thanks.